Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jeopardy! Allow me to introduce you to tonight's contestants. First, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, we have Joseph Smith. From Wawa, Ontario, we have Cedric. And from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, none other than Polly.
George is a creative and unique individual. He's well educated in media literacy and all aspects of physical interaction.
George is my cat, and he's 2 years old. I got him at the market, and I love him very much.
Who the George?
It might not be beautiful, but it works. It's funny, this vehicle's 20 years old. Doesn't look a day over 18. What happened to that letter I asked you to mail? Jesus. You see my coffee? Where's my coffee?
See what I got?
Where's my coffee? Oh, Jesus. You can't get much free help around here anymore. I mean, I pay Betsy a training wage. She's been here for 4 years. I hope that's okay.
Well, I think that there's a couple reasons why George started the film school. One of the reasons is that he has lots of kids, and the kids on the island are bored out of their skulls. He was broke. No, I'm kidding.
He went undercover. I think he had a lot of lawsuits and ex-wives and...
Okay, I don't know anything about filmmaking, and I want to be a filmmaker. I've got a camp. We'll start a film school. So all my neighbors are filmmakers, award-winning, incredible filmmakers. Called them over and said, we're going to start a film school. We're going to get teenagers here, and we're going to make a movie in a week. The film school, it is by far the most rewarding occupation I've ever had. It is just, I love it.
Well, from what I understand, he first started off down in the Caribbean with a sailboat, doing charters for people, taking them out on sailing adventures, and then he came to Galiano Island and he built the pub on the island, the Hummingbird Inn, which was the first pub, and then he got that all working and successful, and so he sold that, and then he bought this property up here.
My inspiration for being an entrepreneur was I think I couldn't get a job. I don't think anybody wanted to hire me, and I really wasn't interested.
Well, I guess he's always been one. He's always had sort of dreams of doing this, that, and the other thing, and his father was self-employed, and I guess he was inspired by his dad. And
to manage an enormous amount of stress and struggle and juggle the stress. And I just recently said, God, I wish I was as thick-skinned as George.
I'm particularly effective when things are completely out of control. I'm often accused of doing more than one thing at a time. Again, it just has come out of necessity. You gotta get this happening.
Mr. George, telephone call for you. Somebody else needs you for something.
Okay. Hello.
I'm someone who likes to have things organized, and I like to have things set in a certain way, and George is pure chaos.
So Ken is continuously kind of calling me on my disorganization.
So I drive him nuts, he drives me nuts, and we get along great.
I think he will become an enormous fashion designer, actually.
I don't know if he's planning anything. I'm sure it's crazy.
George Harris line of upper nowhere line of clothing, like for the boy on the street.
I guess he'll just wait and see and let it happen.
How I operate is, I don't know what I'm going to do next.
I can't come up with one word to describe George. That's humanly impossible.
In one word, fantastic.
Let's see, busy. Yeah, that would be it. Busy.
Normal. average. That's my life. I'm signing off.
This is the typical kind of George story. So he comes up and gets me. I'm up in the office, and he says, the bus. I think the fuel pump is gone on the bus. I need your help. And I'm like, okay. So we go down the bus, and I get into the front. He's got the front part ripped off, and the engine in the front sitting there. And he hands me a can, and he hands me a sock. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing with this? He says, well, there's gasoline in that little can, and what I want you to do is I want you to squirt it into the carburetor while I try starting the bus. And so I'm like, and I said, well, what's the sock for? And he's like, that's to put out the fire. And I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a fire? And is he starts the van up, and I'm squirting gasoline in, right? As fast as I possibly can. All of a sudden, whoop, and flames everywhere, so I'm putting out the flames, and I'm like, oh man. He says, oh no, we gotta make the hole bigger in the can. He said, make the hole bigger in the can, and squirting again, and boom, everything blows again, all the hair in my hands, everything's gone. I put out the fire with the sock. And so finally the third one, we got the hole big enough, I'm squirting as hard as I can, and we get the bus going. He gets it up the hill, and I'm like, woohoo, we're all excited and happy. And then 2 days later, George says, you know, it wasn't the fuel pump, I was just out of gas.